What is going on, Stonebladers? Guess who has two thumbs and just purchased the Stoneblade deck online? That would be this guy. And of course, we got to go up against some of the most powerful, newest, latest, and greatest cards, and a few cards here and there that probably aren't going to make it too long in Legacy. Nevertheless, we are up against UB Tempo, I guess if you want to call it that, Frog, Tamiyo, Grief, Reanimate, all that fun stuff, Bowmasters and Friends too. This is a fantastic hand. Let's just get right into it, and I'll talk a little bit more about other stuff as we go on. So, fantastic lands. We have Spell Pierce. Ideally, when I have Spell Pierce on turn 1, I don't like pondering if Ponder is with it, just in case I'm up against something and say, like, they go off one turn and I lose. I could have said, oh, wow, that's great. If I hadn't pondered, I could have Spelled Pierced and saved the day. So what I'm going to do here is go with Flooded Strand. And I am going to crack it just because I've seen so much Stifle around lately, and it, so it doesn't bother that I give away that, heck, I'm Topic Tundra. They probably know I'm on basics. There's no secret to my name there. It's not like some alternate name where it's like, yeah, I'm actually playing Reanimator. So I don't mind cracking that there. All right, so the first thing here is we want to remove this as quickly as possible. So we can either Stoneforge. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Seeing I kind of have an answer, but it would be for next turn. I am going to Ponder here. I don't mind playing into Daze because that would open up me being able to use this the turn after. So I am going to Ponder here. We could play Stoneforge as well, playing into Daze. And this is, nothing. I already have a Teferi, and I don't need a snap for anything here, so that's going to be a shuffle. And that's not all too helpful. Let's play Vista and go. This card is really good. I didn't buy this one. I would like to test this. Probably 2 of, I would say, is a good number. Okay, Ponder. That's card number 2. And we're attacking. Okay, business as usual. Okay, so Force of Will is interesting. That allows me to, I can Teferi Bounce, which isn't the best in the world. I can also Wrath of the Skies, which looks very tempting because not only can I kill this, I can get rid of their Clue token as well. So that's what I went with here. So it's going to be Prismatic for Plains, and Wrath of Skies. Should they have a Daze, I do have Force pitching back to basics to get rid of it. To counter it. It's been a while. Like I said, a little rusty, but I did pretty well playing the other day. So they do have Daze, so I'm going to pitch back to basics with that. And they are fetching. Watery Grave. Okay, well, they had a Brainstorm too, so there's that. Good, great, wonderful. And to top it off, they had Daze number 2. Okay, so I don't think we had any chance of getting rid of that. So double Daze, a Force of Will, and a Brainstorm. Not a Force of Will, I had a Force of Will. So that is that. Can't win them all. That's fine. This card is such a pest. Holy crap. Which is a big reason why I want to test it out more. Okay, so they're ticking up as expected. So right now I'm looking at Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, still Stoneforge here. I don't really need to bounce anything, so Stoneforge it is. How you tap to is like how you want to play it off. If I did Island Plains, probably means that I have maybe a Swords in hand. So here I do want to go with Kaldra. That's good at getting rid of this. That's my main concern now, so let's go with that. Is this Dismember? Let's Spell Pierce that. Definitely. Yes. Another Brainstorm. Sure. And we get to see one of the greatest plays of Legacy 2024, Grief. This card is not going to be around very long. That's fine though. Play it while you can. Great, so now I can attack Tamiyo for 0 points of damage, which is always good. I can right now just pretty much bounce Stoneforge, get another equipment. That seems like one of the things I can do. Might be a little bit too slow, but let's see what we get. Oh, True-Name. Okay, that's really good. Let's play True-Name. Choosing our opponent, of course. Okay. What do we got here? Sure, we can bounce that. So we really need to be in the attack, so they can use their ultimate here. and still have some left over, which is great. So True-Name is on attacking detail. Not so great there. We're going to be attacking Tamiyo after we bounce, of course. See what we get. I didn't play that land because I wasn't sure if I needed it, but now I probably might want to. So I am going to play that in case I need to brainstorm. And I'm pretty sure I attacked here. I do know that it does. I just wanted to see the interaction with it. I have yet to see it. So if this was the time I attacked, they don't have 2 mana up for Bowmasters or anything. So, okay, just wanted to see it in motion. This is the first time playing against Tamiyo. And it's very pesky, like I said. They can't even Bowmaster if they wanted to. I had Teferi. So that is that. Sure. What else do we have? What are we tapping for? Okay, one of those as well. Like I said, a little bit of everything in this one. It's like Death Shadow, Tempo, with Grief, with Frog, with Tamiyo, with Bowmaster. Just like put every good card in the deck, pretty much. Ooh, that is really good. So I know we're ticking up here. I know I guess we're also brainstorming, but I guess it doesn't matter when we do that. So this is pretty bad. I don't care about a Force of Will right now, but what I'm going to do is put Mountain on top and then Force of Will on toppity top. So that way, if for some odd reason I feel I want it, I can get it, but Flooded Strand is going to be there so we can fetch away those. Let's play that. Let's take it up, and we are still attacking Tamiyo. Now, given the fact I have Teferi, I am not going to plow yet, because what I want them to do is commit, maybe a card to either increasing its power toughness or maybe just, giving it flying, whatever it's going to be. So I want to allow them to do that before I plow. There we go. Perfect. And they did it. They didn't have to, but they did, and I'm grateful for it. So this is attacking my life. That's attacking Teferi. I do want to plow this. I'm not going to chump this because it's only going to be 3 damage once I kill this. And Stoneforge can be great. So if I draw an equipment, I can bring it in. If I draw another Stoneforge, I can use this Stoneforge to bring the other equipment in. And losing 3 life here isn't that big of a deal based upon my life total, their life total, and the board state. So I am going to take that. What else they got? Okay, they're drawing a card, sure. And we were fetching because we knew we had Force of Will on top. We don't want that. Oh, and that is a fantastic draw. We are upticking and attacking with True-Name. I guess it doesn't matter. We can do this pre or post since we have Teferi. But this, let's see, we have Batterskull left and we have... Cryptic, definitely Batterskull here. We have Teferi protection. Next turn we can equip it and just go nuts. Let's attack Tamiyo. I still love this combination. People aren't as big on this, which I can understand given how fast the format is. It's just still so difficult to deal with. It's always just a pain in people's necks. Like aside from combo and super fast decks, I really enjoy True-Name. I have a fun of one of. So because of Teferi, they had to play this now. I'm like, why are they doing that? I'm like, because I have Batterskull there, but obviously, they're going to either do it now or never is the thing. So they could always wait until I attacked once and then maybe bounce Batterskull, but I guess I could always re-equip it. So because of Teferi, I think that's why they had the awkward petty theft there. That's fine. Imagine they're not attacking. Very wise. Let's bring in Batterskull. True-Name Batterskull, my favorite. Nice. So I have added this in. I added an extra planes, given the fact Wrath of the Skies is really hard on your mana, especially with the planes. So this is just another way of getting it. It's kind of like land 21, but let's equip. And let's get Tamiyo. Finally, doing a significant amount of damage. We'll take it. Okay, and they had enough. Fantastic. Whoa, knock over my something else over there. Anyway, so that was pretty, that was close. They had a lot of dazes and they had the brainstorm in the beginning, and True-Name just kept poking at Tamiyo. Pretty much it was, they +2, I poke for 2, so it was always at that line there, and those Stoneforges really came in. And a nice little plow there as well. But that was game one. Let's go to sideboarding so you can see what I'm rocking at the time. All right, so here is the 75. Definitely going to be a lot of changes to it. Just kind of going over very quickly. One less Prismatic for 2 Wrath of Skies. I have 1 Back to Basics here, and Jace is 1. So probably what I would be taking out would be Jace, 1 Teferi, and then maybe a Timeless Dragon. So I have like room for 2 or 3 cards. Not sure what I want to put in there, but just as it is. In terms of the sideboard, I could probably remove Meltdown since Wrath takes a similar role. It's just maybe a little bit longer to get rolling. Maybe a Dress Down can come out. I still think it's a great solution to Urza's Saga and a lot of creatures entering, and even Bowmasters, you can throw it in there just to be able to, get your draws in. Everything else is pretty much business as usual. In terms of this matchup, it looks like it would just be these 3 here. So those 3, maybe like a Flusterstorm, in case you want to fight over. Actually, I don't even think Flusterstorm. I got to think about what else is in there. Like, it can counter Dismembers. I'm not sure if they're keeping in Force of Will, so that might not even be that great. These 3 are definitely coming in. So these 3 probably take out just 3 Force of Wills. And I think that looks pretty good, something like that, right? Don't need to change around a whole lot here. Not interested in Rest in Peace. I know they have Grief and some Reanimates, but they don't seem too heavy on that. It's just like an extra axis for attack. And I think that should be good. So these 3 for 3 Force of Wills, and let's go to game numero doso. All right, so we're going to be on the draw in game number 2. This is an instant keep. There's one thing I would change around. It would be the Tundra. That's fine. We still have a Plains. We have an Island. We have Removal. We have Ponder and 2 Narsets that can help us dig for more and stop them from drawing if needed. Like it, not super in love with it, but I think this is a really good hand overall. It's not like the perfect 7, but it's kind of close. I'd say if Tundra was something else, just because I don't like playing non-basics. Not into Wasteland decks. No, thank you. So the question is that when they bring in their, Shockland, when they play Tamiyo, are we immediately going to Swords on our turn? And the answer I went with this is going to be yes. So this plays a lot differently, say, compared to a turn 1 Delver or a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Just because, one, they are tapped out, they can't Brainstorm. And if we wait a turn, say I play Plains, I play Island next turn, that gives them the option to have a Brainstorm open to use that, and obviously to counter the Swords so that it can flip. So I think it changed a lot. Normally, I am like, yeah, just wait the extra turn. But against this, giving them the untapped land allows them to Brainstorm. So with that, I just went for Swords. If they daze, they daze. If they force, they force. But that's what I went with there. I think them untapping with a Brainstorm is just too much. So we'd have to play around that and a daze. Not a daze if we waited 2 turns. But that's just why I went with that. Otherwise, they're attacking. They're getting some value out of it. So that's the reasoning for why I chose that. Okay. So it looks like this turn we can play Stoneforge or we can Ponder. What are we drawing here? Ooh, Mountain, not bad. So I like saving my fetch lands until I really need them. So I don't mind playing the Mountain here and going for Stoneforge. I understand that it's going to make playing Narset a little bit more awkward. Like I would need Island and Island, but I can always draw another Island and then next turn I can Ponder if needed. So I went with the Mountain here. Ironically enough, these are both John Avon. So let's go with Plains Mountain. I'm going to do Narset here. I just said Narset. I was looking at Narset. You know what I mean. I do this all the time. This is what happens when you create a ton of videos and then you commentate on Magic. Your brain is just like, what is going on? So this is going to be my plan to go after Tamiyo. Should they flip it? And what do you know? So if I had waited and I went to plow this, they would have Brainstorm. It would have flipped and no bueno. So both games, they had pretty much all the tools to flip Tamiyo, regardless of the removal spells that I had. So sometimes that's just the way it works. Plus, they're on the play here, which made it even more difficult. So we will carry on. Let's see what we got. Dismember, nothing I can do here. That's fine. That is a hefty Dismember. Then again, they are like shadows, so makes sense. So right here, we're going to be looking at Pondering unless anything else comes up. And something else does come up. I do like playing this because this can at least keep Tamiyo at bay somewhat. It's like attack 2 plus 2, attack 2 plus 2. So Flooded Strand here, Island. And once again, I am just playing straight into daze. We cannot wait on this board. Perfect. All right, so what do we have? I saw that. I go, you gotta be kidding me. It's like this has happened a few times with Cryptic Coat, where it's like the card you need is right under it. Like there's a plow, or there's just the Prismatic Ending. It's like, thank you so much for that. That's great. So I guess if I had pondered, you know, I could have found it, but hey, maybe they had Bowmasters. They are mysteriously not playing anything, which is usually a big hint towards something, especially from a lot of black decks playing Bowmasters. So here, this is unblockable. Ideally, what I want to do here is, I think I'm going to play Narset. Like I said, they haven't been playing anything. Usually you know what that's going to be. They're waiting for that juicy Ponder or Brainstorm. So let's attack first. And this can't be blocked. I love it. It also has Ward. I love it. Here we're going to do Island. And I thought about tapping. So for the last mana, do I want to keep a Swords up, or do I want to keep a Red Blast up in case I draw one, right? So I went with Red. And I was correct. They did have a Bowmaster. Sure. You can ping it. Do your thing. And just to really add insult to injury, right after they play their Bowmasters, it's Brainstorm and Brainstorm. It's like, thank you so much. I guess it's better than not having a card. So they know about these two right here. We have Brainstorm and Kaldra. Okay, they're really getting rid of Narset. They probably could have just attacked that, or maybe they, I don't know, what was I going to play something with haste there? Not sure what they thought I was going to play, but hey, that's fine. They have both of their bowmens out. Fine by me. Okay, let's hit go. Now this is coming up to where there's like so many things you can do here. Let's see. I believe I ultimately went with Narset. It's either Narset or just creating a lot of these. I believe it was Narset though. Yes. Let's keep doing it. Ah, perfect. So let's get that Prismatic Ending. And that's why I didn't play a land. You notice how if I played an island there and I got a Prismatic Ending, how much I was going to hate my life? Okay, so let's play Tundra. They have 2 cards, so they pretty much have to have double daze or just force. And they probably took their forces out. Here, I do want to protect Narset. So let's make them choose their attack. I am not going to be attacking on here on this spot. What do you have? That's great. Favorite card ever. Thank you so much for hardcasting Grief and taking my Kaldra. What's the matter? You don't want to take my Brainstorm? Is that not juicy enough? Okay, so what do we have for attack? It's a pretty decent attack considering they saw my hand and they want to keep their bowman around. So pretty much just an even trade, right? This was just like a token that I can just keep playing more of, and this was a token. So 3-2 to 2-2. I will take that trade so I can at least use Narset again. Let's do it. Okay. And what do we have here? That is perfect. Let's Narset. There we go. Oh my goodness. All right. So this is one that you can really... I took a little bit more time on. I'm not sure how long it... But I definitely gave it a thought. So Plow is specifically awesome. Back to Basics is literally backbreaking. So if I was to play, say, Back to Basics... I mean, they're going to be shut out for the rest of the game. And then I have a Plow, say, to deal with just Grief or just an Orcish Bowmasters. That's why, like, I really wanted Back to Basics. They only have 1 card. It's coming through. So if they have the days, yeah, they could, bring that back just to use it again. But I think Back to Basics, I would just slowly die if I didn't find any more removal, given the fact I have 1 in my hand, 2 Prismatic Endings are there, and then there's 1 here. I went with Swords here just because... It's just, I would have gotten pinged by these for so long, and eventually I'd probably have to use a Ponder and get pinged even more. So I went with Swords here, reluctantly. And now looking back at it again, it's like, who do you use Swords here? It's a very good question. So Grief ultimately is going to be very hard to block, so that's just going to keep going through for 3. Or you could go after both of the Bowmasters, which is going to open your hand. So looking back at it now, I think I would have definitely just gone with both of the Bowmasters, and then I could Ponder, I can Brainstorm, and just let my deck do what it does. Plus, I still have Cryptic Coat, plus they can attack Narset, so that's going to soak up some damage. So if I'm looking back at it right now, I think I'm just Plow, Ponder, and if I need to, Brainstorm, find something good, and then roll with it. So Okay, so we played our island, and I'm definitely tapping that first just because they have Wasteland. They're going to Wasteland it. It's not going to be around very long, so I went with that. And I believe here, I think I went with Cryptic Coat. I am playing into Daze, but if they have it, they have it. Okay. They don't have Daze there, or they didn't want to use it. I'm not sure. So what was this? This was a Prismatic Vista this time, not a Prismatic Ending, so that's a good thing. Okay, so no attacks. I like that. This is definitely good. Flooded Strand. Here, I believe it's just going... I think they Wastelanded. Yeah, I didn't want to float a mana there. Didn't need to. So here, we're just creating more. I didn't want to attack. I'm strictly going to be on the defense here for now. I don't believe I'm the beatdown. So if I attack and I have one there, like they didn't attack before, but they might have some ponders, brainstorms in their hands. So I didn't know if they did or not. Maybe they do. So if they can't draw any cards, that's a good thing. And right now they can't do anything. So that's the reasoning behind that. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, we have a Death Shadow now. That's fun. I believe I fetched here. I didn't. I think it was the end of the next turn. Okay, that's actually pretty good. So what can we do here? We can Teferi, and then we can Swords a Bowmaster, and then we can return the other one to its hand, and then we can Ponder to unlock our hand. Sounds pretty good, right? Or of course, we could just Swords this, and we can do some more shenanigans with Cryptic Coat. So a lot of things to do here. I think I went with Teferi and Swords. Should have done Teferi. Okay, that must have been next turn then. Or maybe it was this one. Okay, probably next turn. Like I said, there's a lot of lines you can take in this one, depending on when you do it, how you do it. I can't always chump block here. Let's take a look at this one. So we have Plains, we have Batterskull. I don't think I looked at that one. That was a Batterskull, which is kind of important. I guess Teferi could bounce that. So now they got a whole assembly of creatures here. In this one, I thought about... I think I chump blocked. Were they going after Narset? Yeah, so I chumped, and I thought about it. I almost did, a double block just to actually kill it, but I wasn't sure what was in their hand. Any other card that's going to allow them to lose life. I guess I could always block with this one and this one. So it ended up being just a chump block here. Probably could have double blocked. I don't think they had anything that was going to blow that out, like a Brazen Borrower or, something else, whatever it was. So that happened there. That's the one where I fetched. I wasn't using this Brainstorm anytime soon. I just wanted to get... I did want to thin. I wanted to get the Plains there. Okay, so, well, there's that. So I think this is going to be the time where I Teferi, I Swords one, I bounce one, that opens up Ponder, and then of course we can go from there. Should be Teferi first. Okay, I guess that might be the next turn. Okay, one day I'm going to actually figure it out. So I'm still going with this. I think I decided to do that along with Swords. And what I wanted them to do is use some resources on Psychic Frog so that I could actually Swords it. That is the reason why I ended, so it gains flying, that's fine. Are they going to actually pump anything into it? Okay, so they are not. I am double blocking here, and then I was going with Swords on Psychic Frog. And of course, this turn they happen to draw their days, so that was the advantages and the disadvantages of that. I want them to put more resources into the Frog, and I guess I paid the price for that one. I am not usually the type of person that plays in the days, but this game was just show me you have days, show me you have days. And a lot of times they did, and a lot of times they didn't. So I guess I'll pay the price as it has to be. Okay? They just have a plethora. Do you look at the board state here? Do you see how many creatures they've had compared to just one little equipment and a Swords here and a Swords there? I just think it's so fantastic how Stoneblade is always so resilient. It always looks like you're getting absolutely crushed, and then out of nowhere you just win. These little micro advantages here and there. They have these two Bowmasters that are shutting off all of these. I just think it's fantastic. All right, speaking of a good draw, okay, they've had some good draws themselves, so I think this is the time where I actually go with the plan of Teferi first. Teferi first. Okay, I didn't do Teferi first. Okay, I pondered first. So what we're doing here, since we're talking about it now, we have Flooded Strand on top, Stoneforge on top, Pyroblast on top. I decide that, you know what, I'm going to take that damage. That's fine. We need to find some removal. I did, which is great. So probably what I should have done is Teferi first. Yeah, that was a really bad sequencing on my part. Like I said, I'm rusty. It has been so long since I played. If we do Teferi first, all that other stuff doesn't happen because we play Teferi, then we swords one, we bounce the other, we don't take any damage, they don't create this, and we have protection for Pyroblast because we could play Ponder. So those are the mistakes that were made. So we have Teferi protection. Now I can actually wait to use Pyroblast because Teferi is guarding us. So a lot of times if you can go back in your matchups and be like, I lost and I'm not sure why this deck isn't good, it's probably because you made mistakes. And given the fact that, okay, I haven't played in forever, it's going to happen. So let's blast the Psychic Frog here. Since Teferi is up, he's probably going to get it here. Sure. What is this too? Batterskull? Okay. So do I want to chump here? I think I can go to 10. That's fine. More? Okay, drawing a card. Like, they've had so many threats this game. It's great. I love it. Okay, well, looks like we have... So how much mana do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this costs 3, 4, 5. Technically, we can Cryptic Coat and we can Stoneforge. This is probably what we want to do aside from playing in the Bowmaster. I would say utilizing Cryptic Coat first. I think that's more important. So if Stoneforge gets dazed, it's not as big of a deal. Okay, sure. And what do we have on behind door number 1? Snapcaster, okay. It's too bad this is Batterskull because Stoneforge is just going to be a Squire. So let's play that. And I'm just going to search to shuffle. See what else we got, sure. Haven't seen any Wrath of the Skies. I think this was actually a game where, given the fact, okay, there's our first reanimate we saw. Given the fact that I'm bringing in all my Red Blast, I thought it might be a little bit too straining on the mana to have all these Red Blast plus Wrath of the Skies. Ironically enough, it would have worked out just fine, but I think in future games, Wrath of the Skies would be just fantastic here. So those are definitely staying in. So the cool thing is that they are now at 6, so all it takes is 2 hits from this. So the game plan is now, how can I get this in twice, which shouldn't be too difficult, it can't be blocked, while also chumping appropriately. So that is the mindset that it has now come to. So the 7-7 and 3-3. So obviously you have to block this, and if I don't block this, I'm going to be at 6. Then after that, we're going to have, let's see, 1, 2... and they can pump this up to 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have to block both of those because next turn they're going to have 4 cards. So they can give that 5, and then that's going to be, what, 6, assuming I have a creature to block it. So I believe I blocked, obviously, the Shadow here, and I think that was it. I think I did my math wrong. I'm trying to count so many things at once. I've already recorded a lot of videos today, so math. All right, so... unfortunately, what we're going to need here is we need more blockers. So we do have to block both of these this time. So next turn, I'm going to be taking 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. I will be at 1. So if I do Ponder, that means it's going to be 1 less, and we can't Brainstorm. So given that we have to attack with this one if we want to win, because we're not going to win if we just stay back, I have to Ponder in this scenario. And I guess I attacked first. I mean, probably might have been for, like I always talk about, I like playing my spells second main, but this gives them something to do. That is fantastic. So maybe it was a good thing. Maybe it worked out well. Let's let them use their mana. Let's Spell Pierce, and there's nothing they can do here unless they want to just daze it to make me pay 1 more. Probably didn't see that one coming, did you? And we have a lawnmower out in front, so that's that. Welcome to Florida. All right, so let's Ponder. Let's take that damage. This is perfect. This is the blocker we were looking for. So we have Ponder, Ponder, Stoneforge. Okay. And I want to keep up those because those are the most threatening. I could have a Spell Pierce. I could have a Red Blast. I could have a Swords, whatever. And I do want to shuffle this. Let's make sure we look for the cards here. So I think look at that. I did take out Wrath of the Skies in this one. I wasn't crazy. I mean, I was crazy, but I was also correct. I was also incorrect at the same time. So next time playing this, when I did my sideboarding, like I said, just bring in the Blast, take out 3 forces. Wrath of the Skies definitely need to stand. I mean, look at all these creatures. Come on, James. It's like, is Wrath of the Skies going to be good in this? And I look, there's all these creatures that we can just eat up. Okay. Anyway. Mistakes were made. All right, so ideally, chump block. That's going to be 1, 2. They can pump it is going to be 3, 4. And they are playing a card. Oh, this is perfect. It's always good to keep that card in your hand so they don't know what it is. So, yep, now they're going to be pumping that. So we're going to be taking 1, 2, 3. And it really depends on what they get. And they can't really do a whole lot else. Maybe, even if they get a Dismember, which they can't use. And plus, this is going to have War. This is looking pretty good. Let's make our big blocks there. Immediate blocks, that is. Okay, they get their card. And it didn't do it. Yeah. Nice. That was like UB, Tempo, Shadow, Ban cards, Broken cards, Awesome cards, New cards, Modern Horizons 3 cards versus little old Stoneblade that could. Isn't it amazing though? Like when you go through this game, I was literally getting quote unquote crushed the entire time. Like this might as well have been the board state. All this junk over here. Then we have the little Cryptic Coat. Then we have the little True-Name Nemesis. It just looks like it shouldn't be winning, but Stoneblade seems to always find a way to win. Yeah, I didn't play perfectly, and I don't plan on playing perfectly for a while because it's been a while. It literally has. I remember the last time my video came out, but that's how long it's been. So that was pretty cool. Nice to be able to win against a deck that has cards that aren't going to be around very longer. So I do believe this is easily going. This card, I don't have too many problems with it. I think the only problem I have with this card is that it just removes so many deck from the format. You don't see Death and Taxes a lot anymore. You don't see Elves. You don't see Maverick as much aside from Doogs. I think Doogs is the only one I see playing it. He's like the true Green Sun Zenith guy. I watch a lot of his stuff. But aside from that, it's just, I think if Bowmaster was gone, it would just open up the format to something that's really needed as opposed to just having this thrown in your face every day. So aside from that, you're going to see a ton of this. You're going to see a ton of Eldrazi. And I think aside from that as well, up the Beanstalk, me personally, I would love for that card to go. It is so ridiculous. Any card that cantrips and then provides even more value as it goes on, I think we've seen in the past, doesn't tend to play for great MTG performance, but at least that's just my opinion. I think Grief is gone, and aside from that, I guess we'll figure out what happens. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. I don't know when I'll be doing some more videos. I actually have the deck now, which is a cool thing. I bought it. It was only like $190, which I was pretty surprised. I guess no one wants to play Stoneblade except me and a few others, and of course you watching, but another one for the good guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you whenever I get my next video up. Could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be next year, next month, whatever it's going to be, but I'll see you soon, hopefully.